Hi there and welcome to Global Goals. In this video, we'll be previewing Group G of this year's World Cup. Now, Brazil are without a doubt the main attraction as far as this group's concerned. Although they're definitely favourites to top the group, it's set to be an interesting battle for second place. All of Cameroon, Switzerland and Serbia will be back in themselves to make it out of the group, and the latter two in particular are very evenly matched. So joining me today to discuss and take you through this group are Ben, Harry and Chris. We'll roll first to Chris to take you through everything regarding Serbia. Chris, over to you.
Well, thank you, Owais. Serbia don't bring the most international pedigree into this group or even the tournament itself, but with the best place finish for the Eagles actually coming in the first ever World Cup in Uruguay in 1930, finishing in 4th place after their run to the semi-finals. Serbia set up quite erratically with no real set formation throughout their recent Nations League fixtures. The consensus is, what Serbia lack defensively, they certainly make up for up front. Playing in the back five most fixtures, Dragan Stojkovic wants to keep goals conceded to a minimum, highlighting his defensive issues. Going forward, they have a plethora of talent with prolific duo Alexander Mitrovic and Dusan Vlahovic leading the line. But do you think that front two can lead Serbia to any success this year, Ace?
Yeah, they could cause havoc, to be honest, Chris, along with quite a few other players. Like you said there, they've got a plethora of attacking talent. And I think they will be one of the more interesting teams to watch for the neutral because they aren't the most defensively minded team, are they, Ben?
No, this is it. Going forward, Owais, you've already mentioned there, Vlahovic and Mitrovic, they're two players that are just absolutely prolific in front of goal, aren't they? Alexander Mitrovic, of course, he's playing at Fulham now this season, leading the line for them, the third top goal scorer in the Premier League with 9 goals. He's really hit the ground running, and I'm just really excited to see what that duo of Vlahovic and Mitrovic can do. They've got the likes of Dusan Tadic in behind him as well. English fans will know him from his time at Southampton. Of course, he's at Ajax now and doing really well as well. So it's really interesting to see how Serbia will get on, but I do just worry about their defensive frailties.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to come on to, Ben. If there is one thing that's hampering them, it's their lack of defensive stability. And Harry, do you think that could ultimately be their downfall?
Yeah, well, obviously it's a weak point in their side, isn't it? But I think Dragan Stojkovic has come in and really reformed their team. I mean, they didn't even qualify for the Euro 2020, and since he's come in, they're now going to a World Cup. So I think that just really shows the work that he's doing to try and solidify that squad. He's got his captain in Dusan Tadic that he can now rely on. Like we've already, I don't need to go over their attacking talents once again. They've got the midfield balance of Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. So I think they've got a bit of a better rounded squad than what they have done in past years, and now obviously with the right manager at the helm, I think there's no reason why they can't get out of the group. Yeah,
without a doubt. And there are some defensive concerns surrounding them, but one team I think it's fair to say don't share those concerns are Switzerland. They're a perennial World Cup outfit, and they're famous for being defensively solid and difficult to break down. Chris, would you agree with that assessment?
Oh, totally, Ace. The Swiss have been somewhat giant killers as of late as well. With a stunning penalty victory over France at the recent Euros, Murat Yakin's side put the whole world on notice. They followed this up by shockingly topping their World Cup qualifying group, preventing European champions Italy from progressing in the process. They arrive into Qatar as a top 15 rated team, meaning they have a favourable group stage draw. Despite this, they do remain unlikely to top that group, which includes pre-favourites Brazil. The Swiss head to the Middle East off the back of 3 successive victories, 2 of which against sides ranked above them in Portugal and Spain, so it is looking good for Switzerland, Owais.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Chris. Harry, now look, we all know if the Swiss are going to fall short in one regard, it is going to be due to that lack of necessarily attacking prowess. But do you have any hope for them in that regard?
Well, they've got the playmakers like Granit Xhaka, who loves to play a bit more advanced for Switzerland. He started to do it now at Arsenal. We're seeing the goal return, so he's definitely going to be someone that can really make things tick. They've got Bril Mbolo up front, so he's going to be the man that will probably lead their line going into the tournament. But like you said already before, Chris gave us the breakdown. The defensive stability is fantastic. I mean, look at what Manuel Akanji's doing this season at Manchester City. He's really shining after his move from Dortmund. So I think they've got the good balance in their side. It just begs the question whether they can just get over the line in terms of scoring goals and free-flowing football. Yeah,
you do think that Xhaka will be crucial if he can carry his club form over. It might be a different story for them, and they have had a bit of a ceiling in recent years where they don't get past the round of 16. Excuse me, but Ben, with Xhaka playing the way he is, could Switzerland get out of the group, and then could the Swiss potentially go on a bit of a roll, so to speak?
Well, he's the Swiss captain, isn't he? He's got to lead by example, Owais, and he's doing that for Arsenal at the moment as well, isn't he? He's got 3 goals and 3 assists already in the Premier League. He's the main reason why the Gunners do top the table. But you look at the experience they've got. They've got Champions League winners in this side, Owais. The likes of Xherdan Shaqiri, of course, won the Champions League with Liverpool and Bayern Munich. So he's a serial winner, and that's the sort of players you need in and around the squad if they are going to progress far in the tournament.
Yeah, without a doubt. It'd be really interesting to see which one of, I guess, their more Serbia will go through if we do think it's one of them two, because I don't think there's any doubt. The team who come into the next are definitely outsiders. But having said that, Cameroon probably are the strongest of the top 4 teams. Chris, what have you got to say about them?
Well, this is Cameroon's 8th appearance at the tournament, with the African side failing to make it out of the group all but once, reaching the quarter-finals in Italy in 1990, getting knocked out by none other than England. They entered the tournament short of confidence, however, with 2 successive defeats at the hands of South Korea and the shock upset against Uzbekistan. They will look to draw upon their success at the African Cup of Nations, where they finished 3rd. Rigobert Song has his side playing well, with them winning 6 games this year in the lead up to the tournament, and some key figures already having made a flying start to their respective club competitions. Do you think they can make a dent on that strong group, Owais?
Yeah, look, Chris, it's a difficult one because they have been a bit hard done by with the group they've been drawn into. There's some real talent there, but like I said before, they probably are one of the stronger top 4 teams. Ben, how do you see them getting on? Could they pick up anything?
It's hard for the African teams always, isn't it? You've seen their recent record in World Cups, they have always struggled. But when I look towards the likes of Cole Toko Kambe and Vincent Abubakar, as Chris alluded to there, they've started their club seasons this season really well, and they've got that pace of Toko Kambe, and if they are going to have success, it is going to be Toko Kambe making them runs in behind, and if the midfield can find him, you like to think Cameroon do have a chance to perhaps get behind and really break the lines, but it is going to be a struggle for them because we've already touched on the defensive stability of Switzerland. Of course, France, we know that they are going to be strong, and then you look towards the rest of them as well, it is going to be a real struggle.
Yeah, no, I reckon it will be. Harry, just quickly from you, do you predict them to pick up anything from this group?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, looking at the African Cup of Nations success, I mean, Vincent Abubakar was hailed as the next Samuel Eto'o when he broke through at Porto, and that's big boots to fill. But he went into the African Cup of Nations and he came out the top scorer with 8 goals. So he's really firing on all cylinders. I think the only issue I'm thinking going into the tournament is they're off the back of some really poor form, and you don't want that when you're going into such a major competition like the World Cup. You need to be firing on all cylinders. You need the confidence. Yeah,
it is the last thing you need. It's not ideal preparation. But I think one team who we are far more optimistic about is the last team we're going to come to in this group, which is Brazil. I mean, they're looking scary as far as this World Cup's concerned, probably one of the favourites. Chris, what have you got to say about them?
Yeah, following on from what you always said, Owais, Brazil are looking to be the favourites to top Group G. The history within the competition is unrivaled, winning the trophy a record 5 times. But gone are the days of Pelé and Roberto Carlos and Ronaldinho, as their new crop of talent have been unable to reach the heights of Brazil of the old days, with the South American side failing to progress further than the quarter-finals in 3 of the last 4 World Cup tournaments. Could this all change in Qatar? Well, it's looking positive for Brazil, who have found stability under their manager Tite, who since taking charge in 2016 has picked up the Copa America in 2019, is heading into the competition unbeaten in 15 games. But do you think this could be the sensationally 6th time they have the trophy, Owais?
It's pretty hard to see past them, Chris. I know there are a few other countries with similar amount of talent, but I feel like it's their time and the due one, Harry, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a reason why they're the bookies' odds-on favourites to win the tournament there, off the back of some recent successes. Unfortunately, not able to capture the Copa America at Lionel Messi's hands, but I think you look into their team and they've got the likes of, well, we don't need to mention them, we do Neymar. I mean, they've got all talent across the back. I think that's where they're going to shine through, is the fact that they now have a bit more of a rounded squad, whereas in recent years they've gone into the tournaments with maybe 1 or 2 key players like moving forward, and I think in like midfield and defence they haven't had that stability. But now Neymar on the left, they've got Gabriel Jesus playing up front. They're 2 players who are in fine form this season, and I think they're going to take them to the World Cup. I think they're going to win it.
Oh, that's a big call from you. I reckon a few might agree as well. Now look, they have got some eye-watering talent. They have got some, real pedigree. But Ben, in the interest of balance, what could, if Brazil are to disappoint, what could potentially be their downfall?
Well, it's hard to say, really, Wace, isn't it? You look at, well, Harry's already mentioned, they're the pre-tournament favourites going into it. But I do worry defensively. Have they got the pace to perhaps keep up with teams like France, Germany, Italy, Spain? Well, Italy are not actually in the tournament, but you know what I'm saying, these big European talents that have got this pace going forward. And I do worry that, have they got that? Thiago Silva, 37 years old, Marquinhos, 33 years old, have they quite got the pace to keep up?
Yeah, see, that is a concern with Brazil, isn't it? But unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. So stay tuned for the next one. But from us, it's thank you and goodbye.